Welcome to our conversation on meta-emotion mismatches, where head meets heart and emotions can sometimes get, tangled.
Yeah, it's really interesting how our feelings about feelings, like how we handle our own emotional responses, can impact our relationships.
Exactly. You know, there's this pattern often seen where one partner, let's say, goes all in with emotion, while the other tries to solve things logically. It's
Mm-hmm.
that classic head versus heart struggle.
Right? Like in that scenario with Elena and Tom. Elena's overwhelmed and looking for emotional connection, whereas Tom tries to, quickly problem solve instead of just listening.
Yes, exactly. And what's really fascinating is how research like that from the Gottmans shows that this mismatch can predict marital stability or even divorce with an impressive 80%
Yeah.
accuracy. It really underscores the power of empathy versus logic.
I mean, it does make you question, the origins of these reactions. You know, is it really just about personality, or are there deeper learned behaviors at work?
Well, that's a great point. These meta-emotion styles often stem from our early upbringing. One partner might have learned to, value emotional validation and therefore is very attuned, while the other might have grown up in an environment where emotion was consistently dismissed in favor of logic.
Mm-hmm. It's intriguing how early family dynamics shape this. I mean, if a parent always brushed off tears with a just get over it, that child might grow up valuing logic over emotional engagement, right?
Absolutely. And it's exactly that head versus heart dynamic that can lead to both partners feeling unseen and misunderstood. Elena, for instance, feels isolated when her emotions aren't validated, and Tom, in trying to help, feels his approach is being misinterpreted.
Right. I can see how that might escalate into bigger conflicts. But, do you think it's fair to say that one approach is inherently better than the other?
Not really. Both approaches have their merits. It's like, the understanding has to come first. Dr. Gottman's work actually emphasizes that understanding your partner's inner emotional state is key before jumping into action.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. It's like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation if you just jump into solving problems without addressing the underlying feelings, huh?
Exactly. It's, like building a house. You need a solid foundation of emotional attunement. And that's where techniques like the State of the Union meeting come in. It's a structured approach
Right.
where couples first connect on an emotional level before discussing solutions.
I've heard about that. And it seems to really help the emotion-attuned partner feel validated, while giving the other a chance to see the value of emotional understanding.
Yeah, and that's one of the key steps. In fact, the idea is that both the emotional and the logical responses are valid. They just need the right timing. First, you need to acknowledge and validate each other's feelings. Then you can move into problem solving.
Yeah, but I have a small challenge on that idea. Sometimes it feels like this approach might slow down resolving immediate crises. How do we balance the need for quick solutions with the need for emotional attunement?
That's a fair challenge. It can seem counterintuitive, especially for someone like Tom who wants to act fast. However, Gottman's method suggests that, in the long run, taking that extra step to validate emotion actually leads to far more effective resolution.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it feels slower, it prevents recurring conflicts and builds lasting bonds.
I see, so it's a bit like investing time up front to avoid a major repair later on. That analogy really, fits well with the idea.
So exactly, it's like preventive maintenance in relationships. And then there's the idea of building a shared emotional culture. This is where both partners learn an emotion coaching style. For the one who tends to be dismissive, it can be a transformative process.
Right. And for the partner who's already emotionally attuned, it means learning to reframe their partner's seemingly logical, action-oriented responses, kind of turning what was once seen as dismissal into a genuine attempt to help.
Right, it's all about mutual understanding. And then there's also the third step, exploring emotional upbringing. When couples talk about their childhood and how they learn to deal with emotions, it opens up a gateway to empathy.
Yeah, that conversation must be tough sometimes, but, so crucial for peeling back layers. It almost reads like a mini therapy session between partners with real trust building.
Indeed, by discussing how each of them was comforted or, not comforted as a child, they can really start to understand each other's triggers. And that understanding makes it easier to practice emotional attunement and actually take action later on.
I love that. It shifts the focus from blaming to understanding. Instead of saying, you never listen, it turns into, I wish you could understand how this feels for me.
Yes, that's the key transformation, turning conflict into connection. In fact, when partners start to engage in ritualized emotional check-ins, like a stress-reducing conversation, it really creates space for both the head and the heart to work together.
Right. It's amazing how such simple practices can, turn the tide in a relationship. I mean, going from a heated argument to feeling connected again must be empowering.
Absolutely. And when that happens, you see a remarkable shift in interactions. Instead of the usual "you're dismissing me" loop, you hear responses like, "That sounds really tough. Do you want to share more about how you feel?" And that small shift can be life-changing.
I suppose it's also a reminder for both partners to practice empathy daily, not just in big conflicts, but in all the little moments.
Yes, exactly. It's like nurturing a plant. You have to water it every day, even if the leaves don't seem to need it right then. Over time, that consistent care creates a much stronger relationship.
That's a beautiful analogy. And it goes to show that sometimes the most effective solutions are the ones that, require patience and consistent effort.
Right. And speaking of consistency, it's interesting to note that many couples benefit from structured programs, like the Gottman Relationship Coach, or even shorter challenges like the 30 Days to a Better Relationship. These tools are designed to cultivate these very skills.
It really shows the practical side of all this research. Instead of just theoretical insights, you get hands-on techniques to actually build that emotional bridge between partners.
Exactly. And I love how, with these programs, even the partner who tends to rely on logic can learn to lean into the emotional side a bit more. It's not about changing who you are, but about balancing both approaches to create a more resilient relationship.
Right. I wonder, though, could there ever be a situation where both partners are too aligned in their emotion coaching style, potentially neglecting necessary logical actions?
That's an interesting point. While the focus here is on mitigating meta-emotion mismatches, it's important to note that a well-rounded relationship balances both emotional understanding and practical problem-solving. So, even if both partners are extremely attuned, they still need to ensure that logic and action are not sidelined entirely.
Right. It's all about that equilibrium. Too much of one without the other could, potentially leave certain issues unresolved.
Exactly. So the ideal is a partnership where understanding emotions paves the way for supportive actions, and actions are taken after feeling truly heard and understood. This balanced approach not only diffuses conflicts, but also lays a robust foundation for the future.
And that's what many couples strive for. A kind of dance between the head and the heart that really strengthens their bond over time.
Yes, it's like each partner learns to read the other's emotional cues and respond appropriately. Whether it's through, say, a State of the Union meeting or daily check-ins, those actions build a shared emotional culture.
Right. It's incredible how such simple practices can foster deeper intimacy and trust. I bet it also changes the way conflicts are perceived, not as battles to be won, but as opportunities for growth.
Absolutely. And the transformation in dialogue is striking. Just think about how Eleanor's original expression of feeling overwhelmed can be met with genuine empathy rather than a quick fix. That can really redefine the trajectory of their day and their relationship.
Yeah, this approach really flips the script on traditional conflict resolution. It focuses on connection over correction, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And it also prepares couples to handle bigger challenges down the line by creating a reservoir of understanding they can draw from. The research is compelling. When both partners embrace both the head and heart approaches, they're much more resilient in the face of adversity.
No doubt about it. It seems that what starts as a small shift in how we perceive and respond to our emotions can cascade into a profoundly healthier relationship dynamic.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of addressing meta-emotion mismatches head-on. It's about turning conflicts into opportunities, stumbles into steps for greater intimacy, balanced, thoughtful actions that respect both the heart and the mind.
Right.